Are we seeing the grand final preview for 2013? Much has been said of the Giants' march towards the finals in 2013. Of course, we've spoken about off air about the Swans culture. It's pretty hard to beat, but I like the Giants from probably round 3 or 4.
Yeah, certainly. These are two of the form teams in the competition. The Swans are always consistent. They're a power year on year, and the Giants, Brett, as we're talking about, they're just building nicely. And I think they'll be the smoky for the finals, that's for sure, because they've got everything going for them. They've got a young list. They're frothing at the mouth to get into the senior team. So there's competition for all spots, and they've been improving week on week.
And let's not forget they do have a couple of very high draft picks. They have Dom Tyson, who was taken at 2, and of course John O'Rourke, who was taken at 3. We've also got Christian Jacks, who was taken at 12. Just about set for the bounce down here from ANZ Stadium. As you said, not a cloud in the sky as the big fellas go at it. Of course, there's a late withdrawal for the Giants. The AFL listed centre at O'Halpin, he is out. He's been replaced in the side by Jack Dimmery from the Hills Eagles, but it was won by Frost in the middle of the ground there for the Giants. The umpire says, I'll have it because it didn't move out of the centre square. And we'll get another ball up. A beautiful day here at Sydney, Andrew.
Yeah, Giants playing a few top-ups, which hasn't been the case in the last few weeks. So I think that'll bring the game a bit back towards the Swans' favour. But I'm looking forward to a cracking game today here, Brett.
And here's a free kick to James Stewart. He's been one of their standout players going forward. And it'll be an interesting side. It'll be one through the midfield, I think, today between the Giants and the Swans. And I think the Swans have just got the edge in that area, of course. They've got Tim Membray, Harry Cunningham. It's great to see the number 16 back for the Swans too, Gary Rowan, after that horrific broken leg in senior football. So he's just starting to find his touch, and he might make his way back in the senior side in the not too distant future.
Yeah, certainly, and he's been back in for a couple of games. He had a few games as the runner for the Sydney Swans NEAFL team. That was just to get a bit of match fitness back before he started in the NEAFL a couple of weekends ago.
And there was a clearing kick down there towards Membray, who fell over there, but it was taken away there by Frost. It was Gillam, the former Hawthorn product in Stephen Gillam, solidly built backman Stephen Gillam. And it's just as they apply the pressure in their zones, and it's taken away out there towards the Giants. It's taken away by Sumner. He got a quick handball over, only as far as the boundary line, and they'll have no choice. Oh, the umpire says, no, keep playing on. I thought that was out from this as we enjoyed the palatial surrounds of the Channel 7 broadcast box here at ANZ Stadium, but it's taken away there to the Giants, and they pump the ball forward down there towards that of, it is Sam Reid down in the middle of the ground. Over there, it looks like Wilson, but it's not Nathan Wilson. He was a late withdrawal, and it put down there towards Liam Sumner. He brings it to the top of the square looking for Brett Thornton, the former Carlton product. And guess what? Brett Thornton doesn't let his teammate down. They know where the ball's going at all times. They bring the ball to the top of the square looking for they're very predictable, the Giants, and he's a good in for them this week, Brett Thornton.
Absolutely, Brett. And he missed the last couple of weeks. They rested Brett simply because they had a full list, and they decided to give some of the kids a go. Brett being one of the older statesmen in the Giants lineup, and I think he's going to be a real force today. He's really dangerous up forward, and he brings experience, and I think he'll kick a bag.
There you have it. He's played 188 AFL games, and there's his first score for the afternoon. So the Giants draw first blood here at ANZ Stadium in this round 21 clash of the North Eastern Football League. It is the Giants, 1 goal straight to the Swans yet to score. Are we going to see the Giants take the points? They've got a superior percentage in the competition, of course, Andrew. They're probably 11, 12 percentage points ahead of any other side in the competition.
Yeah, and I think that's going to count almost for 4 points itself, Brett, when we come down in a couple of weeks' time to the finals. The Giants, they've still got despite the fact they've got a young team out there today, they've got a sprinkling of experienced talent. As you said, Gillam up the back, I think he'll be the linchpin. Thornton up forward, and Sam Reid's also running around, a former Western Bulldog. So there's a bit of experience to help show the way for the youngsters for the Giants.
As the Swans clear it out in the middle of the ground to a very elusive, it is Jaffa Williams, Yaron Jaffa Williams out to Towers. He's been a tower of strength in for the Swans year. It's Jaffa Williams. He dodges around the boundary line. He puts it to the top of the square, looking down there for that of Lloyd Paris, and it's only taken away as far as the boundary line, and it's rushed through for a behind. It gives the Giants an opportunity to set up. Like you said, there's a lot of experience in the Giants side. The other thing in the Giants' favour is they've now got 30 and 40 games into their drafted players. So that's a great kick. That's covered 75 metres from the Giants in through the middle of the ground, and they've found in there, and it is none other than the hard-leading Christian Jacks. So the number 34, the number 12 draft pick is Christian Jacks. He goes sideways out towards Thornton. Didn't really gain a lot of ground as the Swans continue to put pressure there. The man on the mark waving his arms furiously. It's Thornton. He goes to the top of the square looking down there, and it was punched away there by Xavier Richards. Of course, his brother plays his 200th in top grade tonight, so that's a fantastic achievement. He'd be chuffed as well, having played a couple of senior games for the Swans this year, Andrew.
Yeah, Richards, formerly Xavier boys, so they both made the transition to Sydney very nicely, David.
It's out to Armstrong. Armstrong in the pink boots. He threads his way through there. Is Tony Armstrong. He's a supremely skilled player in the back half of the Sydney Swans. He'll set up a lot of their attacking forays going forward for the season in 2013 if they're going to hoist the Premiership Cup. But it's taken away down there and was just solidly met was Brad Plug, and he got a free kick out of it. So he's right on the Toyota sign here at ANZ Stadium. It is Plug to put it down into the middle of the ground. He drives it inside the forward 50 looking for a player in the Sydney Swans, and it was taken there by that of Dan Robinson. Robinson got a quick handball out, but the Giants defence was up to it with Matthew Buntine with a clearing kick there, and it was over there towards that of It was Sam Schultz down there, the number 45, and it's taken away there by Edwards. It was a clever handball from Edwards, and they looked down towards Thornton. Why wouldn't you? So, and there was come off the number 2 draft pick, and that was O'Rourke, and it was taken down there through that to Sam Reid, the former Western Bulldog, but it's beaten them all over the boundary line. We've got a boundary line throw in as we've gone 5 minutes in this first quarter here. Round 21 North Eastern Football League clash in what shapes as the latter shape of the season 2013, Andrew.
Yeah, and Brett Thornton already looking very dangerous. He's had 3 early touches, and I think what we've seen already is the Giants move the ball really quickly, Brett, from end to end, and that was on display last week against Sydney Uni. Their spread is phenomenal. They've got a lot of young, fit players, and they're exciting to watch at times.
That they are. Thomas Head has taken a big mark in the back of the ground there. Of course, big Tom Danny plays his first senior game for the Giants. He was elevated today, so that's a great victory for Thomas Downey. So that's a reward for hard work. Well done to Thomas. So it's well done, as it's another boundary line throw in. A lot of stoppages already in 6 minutes gone here in the North Eastern Football League clash for round 21. It is the Giants taking on the might of the Swans. Who's going to come out the victor? But the umpire's pulled out a free kick here. It's going to go to Frosty. Sam Frost over to the supremely skilled Edwards. Edwards drives it down long towards the forward 50, looking for the run of Thornton. Is he going to be successful in keeping it in? He does. He kicks it a la Wayne Rooney off the ground, but it didn't go through the big ones. It went out of bounds, and I think it's going to be a boundary line throw in yet again. Yet another stoppage. The Swans would be loving these stoppages.
Yeah, Alex Brown at the moment getting tailed up a little bit by Thornton, so that's something that the Swans will have to address.
Well, back him to bounce back. He's been a very good defender for the Swans, Alex Brown. That's a good challenge for him to play on a calibre player in Brett Thornton, of course. 180 odd AFL games to his name. Now in the Giants' colours, approaching the twilight of his career, he'll be helping this young group immensely. And as the Giants, that was punched away there by Dom Tyson, and it's just rushed over for a rushed behind. So the Swans get to bring it in, and it goes to Armstrong. What's Armstrong going to do? Is he going to look for this Giants zone? He's got to find some holes in that. He kicks it to himself. Armstrong, you can't miss him out there today in the pink boots, but he gained 65, 70 metres, and he looked out there for that of Thomas Head, and Head dropped what he should have taken as the Giants mop it up through the back half now, and they in through the middle of the ground, right from the paint on the Toyota access sign here at ANZ Stadium. There was a free kick to Armstrong. The umpire says play on. I'm not going to have it. He tried to play for that one, but it's going to go out here towards Dom Tyson. Now there's a whistle. There's a Giants player down, and he's picked out a free kick to Tony Armstrong. That's a bit of a delayed free kick, but nonetheless, Armstrong comes out here towards Alex Brown. The run of Alex Brown. Brown chips it inboard inside of the centre square there, out towards Cunningham, and follows it up with a kick to Alex Brown in the middle of the ground there, and that was good work there from the Giants, and it was a saving mark there from the number 21 in Matthew Buntine. He's been a very consistent player for the Giants. It's over to Tyson, and they run it out of the Swans forward 50 with ease. and now it's into the middle of the ground between John O'Rourke. Of course, he had a whale of a game last week against the students down there in the Chancellor's Cup, coming off a very high possession game. Was John O'Rourke with 36 disposals to his name. Xavier Richards in the middle of the ground now, hoping to emulate his brother Ted with 200 to his name, and that's a good kick. He's looking out there for Lloyd Perris. Was that of Jordan Weir as they just take them on. It's Gillum in the back half now. He goes down towards Jacksh, the strong masking Jacksh, and that's a...
He's paid the mark, yep.
He's paid the mark, of course. That's a good matchup there. The Shane Biggs coming off the rookie list and listed by the Swans only in the last few weeks there, Andrew. So he's got a big task on Christian Jacksh.
And just an update from Greenway Oval, East Lake 13-5-83 to Tuggeranong 5-5-35 at three-quarter time.
Of course, the last home game for the Tuggeranong Hawks for season 2013 and their last as a NEAFL affiliated club. Are they going to join forces with the East Lake Demons in 2014? Of course, the Hawks opting out of playing in the NEAFL competition in 2014 after some much celebrated... or well documented on and off field struggles has resulted in them not electing to go into season 2014. They'll drop down to the AFL Canberra competition, is that correct, Andrew, for Division 1?
Brett, so they'll go straight into Division 1 and continue operating as a highly successful community club within AFL Canberra.
And there you have it, Blake Erickson out in the middle of the ground, out towards Daniel Cox. Cox on the left foot, he goes there looking for Towers. That was a good mark to Towers. Strong hands there by Dean Towers. He plays on immediately in front of Lockie Plowman, puts it into the top of the square, looking there for Membray. But here's the man we spoke about at the top of the program in Gary Rowan. He finds a teammate inside the forward 50, and that's Blake Guthrie. 35 metres from goal, directly in front at ANZ Stadium. Not a drop of wind in the sky. No flags to tell us otherwise. How will Blake Guthrie go? You just saw the class of Gary Rowan inside the forward 50 there, Andrew.
And Blake Guthrie, the boy from St George, lining up. He'd be excited today to have a game as a top-up for the Swans, but unfortunately can't convert on that occasion.
He's pushed it wide. Of course, we've got a couple of other top-ups there for the Giants. We've got Jack Dimry from the Hills Eagles. He's impressed throughout season 2013 with the Hills Eagles, and it's taken away now by that of Dom Tyson, the hard-running Dom Tyson in the back half of the 50, and he turns the ball over into that man Guthrie. Guthrie got a quick... I think it excited him there too much, and he dropped what he probably should have taken, and it's taken away now by the Giants. They seem to have numbers floating back inside the Swans forward 50, and it was just cleared away there by, I think it's Lachlan Jerez, or Hayes, is it?
Pronounced Ayres.
Ayres, is it, Brett?
Yeah. Boy from North Shore. He'll be enjoying a run around today on the ANZ.
There you go. It's out to John O'Rourke. Of course, the high draft pick for the Sydney Swans, coming off a massive game last week with 36 disposals. He puts it down towards that of Lachlan Plowman, and he plays on quickly out towards Edwards. Edwards with the ball in hand, almost centre wing. And he took that mark pretty comfortably in front of Paris. Edwards waits for his players to get set now, and coming from behind there was Tim Golds, but he must get in front to mark it, and that's a good mark down there by the Sydney Swans defences. They bring it up the line only as far as Christian Jacksh dropping off there. Shane Biggs tried to make the play for him. Actually, it was Lloyd Perris on Jacksh there. Switch out to Gillum. Gillum in the middle of the ground as they bring it down through. I think it's Joe Redfern in the middle of the ground, and that was good running there through in the middle of the ground. Number 17, Ayres, and I think he's going to get a free kick. Yep, the umpire's picked out a free kick here.
Paid for the throw on that one.
I think it's going out there to Liam Sumner. Sumner brings the ball across the ground inside the forward 50 for the Giants, and it's just kept into play there. That was clever play there by the Giants, and it's taken away out of there by Jordan Lockyer. As far as Armstrong, Lockyer receives the old 1-2. He gets it on the boot quickly, drives it down to the middle of the ground, and he was sandwiched there, was the number 19 for the Giants. I haven't got the him listed in my program, the 19 for the Giants. We'll get an update there for you who it is. It could be the 49. They are hard to distinguish here. They're so far away, but it's taken down inside the forward 50, and that's a good grab by the Swans defence as they bring it down through
I think the Swans have just settled a bit here, Brett. They were a little shell-shocked early. The Giants are certainly a hard-running team and spread really well, but the Swans seem to be a little bit more organised at this stage and just consolidating a bit.
Taking the heat out of the game, there you have it, Andrew, and then it's just well done there to Daniel Cox. He got a quick handball over there to Paris, and it was a good attempt there by Head, but it was punched away as he backed away with the football. 14 minutes gone. It is the Swans 2 behinds, trailing the UWS Giants 1-3-9 here in this round 21 clash in what promises to be a ladder-shaping contest. Will they finish 1 and 2 respectively? Of course, Belconnen taking on Queanbeyan tomorrow. We've got Eastlake taking on Tuggeranong as we speak, and the Hills taking on Sydney. So there you go, and that's a quick snap at goal there. I think it was from Towers. Yes, it was, and that's full points. So they get their first score on the board. Dean Towers was the goal scorer there for the Sydney Swans. Well done to him. As you said, Andrew, they just took the heat out of the game. They started to control it, and now they've got maximum reward for their effort. So for all the Canberra clubs looking at it, that's what they do. They just take the heat out of the game. They just controlled it by foot and hand, and they work their way forward for a goal.
And just like Thornton will be a focus up forward for the Giants, Dean Towers as a senior listed player for the Swans, he'll be a focus up forward as well. But there's a couple of other likely prospects up forward for the Swans. Lloyd Paris, he's a highly rated youngster from St George. He's on an AIS scholarship, so he'll be looking to impress today as well.
And it was tapped out of the middle there to Lloyd. That's Jake Lloyd, and he sends it straight down the forward 50 there, and it's taken away there by, it's Matt Buntine in the half there. There is the one of them that we've spoken about. That is the young Yaron Jaffa-Williams, ever the opportunist, and that's what you've got to do at this level to impress, is just take your opportunities. You might only get 2 or 3 touches, but there was another one, and it's taken away by O'Rourke in the back half now. O'Rourke, he'll go across to the runner Buntine in front of Towers. They bring the ball across the ground now towards that of Lachlan Plowman. It opens the ground up here at ANZ Stadium. Big ground here, and that was intercepted there by the number 47 in Lloyd Paris, and he followed it up well over towards Lockyer. Lockyer inside the forward 50 was well spoiled by the Giants' defence. Now it's taken away by Dom Tyson. Tyson with a quick handball there towards Edwards. It was too slick for him as they tried to bustle their way through to the ground. It's Ugle. Now it's out to Jaffa-Williams. The players are slipping over at 6s and 7s. It's through to the 58 there in Thomas Head. He finds the run of Armstrong, but he held his ground, did Tony Armstrong. He got a solid bump, but he kept his feet and was able to kick the goal. Tony Armstrong, that's a fantastic goal. As the Swans now move ahead to 2 goals, 3-15, UWS 1-3-9. That was a fantastic goal by Armstrong on the run.
Yeah, it was, Brett, and he's been good early, Armstrong. He's been playing off half back. He just seemed to drift forward there the last couple of minutes, so I'm just looking where he's going back to line up, but certainly across half back he's been a bit of a live wire, along with Yaron Jaffa-Williams as well up forward.
A couple of important touches there from Yaron Jaffa-Williams.
Southern Observer's down there, it says there's a fair bit.
As we come back to the middle of the ground for the bounce after that wonderful running goal by Tony Armstrong. It looks like he's gone back to the back half there on Ugle. Jared Ugle it is. Looks like he's had some new artwork put on there throughout the week as Jared Ugle. He does look like his partner in crime in Wilson. And that's a good mark taken down there by Biggs. Shane Biggs out towards that of Matthew Dick. Dick back to Biggs. Sounds a bit, you wouldn't want to say that with a couple under your belt. Dick Biggs over there towards that of, it's out there towards the 27 in Dan Robinson, but the Swans now break it away. They'll run and carry it up through the ground there, and they're looking towards Cunningham. Cunningham made space behind him, but Buntine was up to the challenge in the back half there, and he got a quick handball away down through the Giants there, and now it's cleared away through to Anthony Miles. Miles plays on quickly, looking down towards centre wing of Thornton, who just sells some candy to 2-3 Sydney Swans players, goes down there towards Frost, but he got a good punch away there was Matthew Dick. We'll get a boundary line throw in. 18 minutes gone. It is the Sydney Swans 2-3-15 to UWS 1-3-9.
The Swans have just got to be a bit patient coming out of defence. The Giants are doing a press very nicely, but if they can just be patient and take the heat out of it a little bit, they'll hit up some teammates.
Here it is, Blake Erickson in the middle of the ground. He finds the run of Jaffa Williams. Jaffa Williams goes down there towards that of Cunningham. He made space behind him, did Harry Cunningham. There you go, Harry Cunningham. He gets his first for the afternoon. He gets the Swans third. As you said, patience is the key there. The game just opened up for them and they get their third. So the Swans controlling it better by hand and foot in this early stages. 19 minutes gone, 3-3-21, 1-3-9 to the Giants.
And the Swannies looking a little bit more dangerous as they go into the forward line. They're keeping it rather open. There's either Cunningham or Jaffa Williams there that have basically been isolated. So when they do go forward, then there's plenty of room for them to run into and kick a goal like that.
There's a couple of important early touches. I think you'll find that it'll be a battle of the coaches' boxes today as well, Andrew. Of course, Brett Hand taking charge of the Giants, and we've got Jared Crouch in charge of the Swans. So it is taken away by the Giants here, and it's going to be run on through there by Liam Sumner, but it's going to beat them all outside the boundary line, right on the paint at 50 here at ANZ Stadium. Fantastic day for football. Not a cloud in the sky, 24 degrees. Are we seeing the potential 2013 grand final right in front of us here in this round 21 clash? It's taken away by the Swans at the stoppage. That's where they're very good to the Swans, and it's just down the line in front of Xavier Richards. But it's going to be a throw-in out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the 19 for the Giants. Taken away by Edwards. Edwards puts it inside the forward 50, looking down there towards Jackson. He made a good fist of it down there, but it's taken away by Biggs. Out to Armstrong, handball over back. Well done to Shane Biggs. He ran around and got the 1-2 from Tony Armstrong. Goes out there towards that of Daniel Cox. It was punched away by the Giants. They put it downside in the forward 50 now, and I think that's Jack Dimmery out there, is it, in the number 2 jumper? Right down in the forward 50, but I think there's a 50-metre penalty being paid there. So we
There's a couple we're not sure of.
2 and 19 we haven't got listed in our program. We'll see if we can get those for you. Round 21, North Eastern Football League clash. Of course, this does have a major bearing on ladder positions for season 2013, particularly for the Tricolours and Eastlake. Looks like Eastlake are going to get over the line against Tuggeranong out there at Greenway. It is the Swans 3-3-21, the Giants 1-3-9. As Rowan back on the field, it's taken away out there by Golds. Golds dummies inside there towards back to Redfern. Redfern with a good handball over there to the Giants now. I think that is Dimmery out there in the number 2, out there towards Edwards again as they go through the middle of the ground. That's Josh Bruce's number 47. I know it's not Josh Bruce out there. He's playing the main game today, so it's taken away out there by Lockyer. Lockyer gets around the number 47 for the Giants, but it was punched away there by Gillum in front of Membray. We'll get a boundary line throw in around 65 metres from the Swans goals. They've done well to get their noses in front. They just bang goals on very quick, the Swans, don't they? They
do. And as you said, it's a finals-like weather, Brett, and it's both teams have got everything to play for this week. They've basically both can get as high as second on the ladder, or the Swans can actually get first. So they're playing for a double chance in the finals and home ground advantage.
Andrew, looking further into the crystal ball, if these sides were to meet in the grand final, obviously we've tentatively nominated Kipax as the ground to use. Would it be played in Sydney? Should we get these 2 Sydney sides in it?
Yeah, look, I think a lot depends on the Swans and the senior team where they're playing in the finals as well, Brett. So there's a few considerations, but we'd strongly consider a NEAFL grand final or Eastern Conference final in Sydney if these 2 teams were competing.
There's the Giants in the back half there, and was dropped what he should have taken there. It was O'Rourke. He just took his eyes off the ball out towards that of Edwards over to Dom Tyson. Tyson goes long down the line, and it's handball back inside there towards the run of the Giants, and now they go through the middle of the ground. It's in there towards that of, I don't have a number 33 on our program as well. There's another one. They're playing cat and mouse with the numbers today, the Giants. There's certainly a commentator's curse out there. We'll endeavour to get those for you at quarter time as they dive on the ball inside the Giants forward 50. As the umpire throws it up, and it's head. No, it's actually Alex Brown doing battle in the ruck there for the Swans as Biggs tries to evade the tackle, and the umpire's rightly so called. You've just dropped that, Shane. Free kick to the Giants, and it'll be going to Gerald Ugle. So Ugle, the sharpshooter. Plenty of new ink work on Gerard Ugle since last time we saw the Giants in action on NEAFL.com.au. He comes in with a left foot here, and I think he's just snuck it over the line. No, it's just popped short. So that's a saving mark down in the back half for the Sydney Swans as they bring it out. That's a good kick from the back half from the Sydney Swans defenders down towards that of Rowan. Rowan got a fist to it out there towards that of Towers. It was cleared away by the Giants. Edwards out there towards, it was Sumner down there, I think it was. Yes, it was Liam Sumner, but the Swans now through the middle of the ground. Dropped there was Daniel Cox. He got a free kick after some high contact, but here comes the run of Cunningham right through the middle of the ground. He goes across there to the run there of, it says Yarra Jaffa Williams, but that's not Yarra Jaffa Williams, and it was just taken away there by the Swans, and he's missed it. There's the Swans players there. I think it was 44, and it was Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
So he pushed it wide, but he nonetheless increases the Swans' lead. 3-4-22, 139. 25 minutes gone here at ANZ Stadium in what is a glorious day. Perfect football weather, and that's a good mark, I think, that from Alex Brown, but he's kicked it like a true backman there, Andrew, and he sprayed it to the left of the upright. So the Swans doing all the attacking in this first quarter.
Yeah, they've really fought back well, and they've basically dominated the last 10 minutes as we approach the 25-minute mark, but just not converting on the scoreboard from a couple of very gettable chances.
As the Giants bring it down, and it's a good mark there. We'll call him the Josh Bruce clone in the number 47. As they bring it down through the back half, looking for that of Gillum. No, it wasn't Gillum out there. It was out there towards that of James Stewart. But the Swans were good enough to clear it away. Stuck out the one-handed Tim Memray, but it's beaten them all over the boundary line. And we'll have another boundary line throw in. The Swans love this situation. 25, 30 metres from their goal. The best clearance side in the business are the Sydney Swans. Umpire throws it in. And it's taken away, and it's cleared away there by Ugle with a quick handball out there towards from his fellow teammate, but only down as far as the number 42 in Xavier Richards. Richard goes long, looking for the lead down there, and that is a good grab taken out there by Blake Erickson. About 40 metres from goal. This will test him, but it was a good mark under pressure. Got some plenty of attention. This will be a handy goal for the Sydney Swans. 26 minutes gone as we follow it with Blake Erickson, and he hasn't got enough leg on that one. At test him as we hear the siren for the quarter time break. It is the Sydney Swans 3-5-23 to the UWS Giants 1-3-9. How did you see the first quarter, Andrew?
Look, Brett, I think, as I said, the Giants got it away early, but the Swans, they're a well-disciplined side. They're well coached by Jared Crouch, and they just settled the game down a bit. They stuck to their structures, and they basically got on top, and they've scored the Giants, 8 scoring shots to 4. So going well at quarter time.
And they just controlled the footy, and they just didn't allow the Giants any possession in the latter half of that first quarter. So Coach Crouch will be well pleased with his troops out there. We'll be back shortly with all the action for the second quarter here at ANZ Stadium of this round 21 clash between the Sydney Swans and the UWS Giants. Welcome back to this round 21 clash between the Sydney Swans and the UWS Giants, brought to you live through NEAFL.com, live from ANZ Stadium. It is the Sydney Swans 3-5-23, leading the UWS 1-3-9. Andrew, I believe you've got some live stats for us there to see the major possession winners for the first quarter.
Certainly have, Brett. So the Swans going well, as you said. Shane Biggs is their leading possession getter with 7, 6 kicks and a hand pass. Tony Armstrong and Jordan Lockyer and Dean Towers have got 6 possessions each. whilst for the Giants, John O'Rourke has got 8 possessions, as does Liam Sumner.
So all the major ball magnets all having an influence in the first quarter here at ANZ Stadium, and it's out to Ugle. Ugle takes it directly on centre wing. He brings it inside the forward 50, looking down there towards that of James Stewart, but it's taken away by the Misley Swans defence, and it's taken over there. Good play there, taken away by Xavier Richards. It's in the middle of the ground now, and it's taken away through Paris. Paris puts it down to the speedy Jaffa. No, it's Cox down there now. There's a rush behind. It is Daniel Cox in the 51. He just lost his Giants player there.
Heavy, isn't he? And a good collect as well. Just couldn't quite convert on that occasion.
He couldn't, but he did all the hard work. He turned the Giants defender around there. I think the 33 is Jack Dimery for the Giants. We've also got a couple of updates. Number 47 is Jeremy Finlayson. The 2 is Jake Barrett, and 19 is Josh Rodman. So there we've got an update for you, but it's out there towards that of Liam Sumner, the classy Sumner, but he turns it straight over there towards Gary Rowan, right on the edge of the paint in the centre square, looking for... Is he going to look for Membray as he does? He puts a long kick down there looking for Tim Membray. He'll have to get up there. He punches. He does the disciplined thing. Punches from behind. Tim Membray, a couple of minutes gone, no score, well, 1 score to the Sydney Swans, a minor score. How did you see the first quarter, Andrew?
Well, Brett, I was just looking at that. Do you reckon the Swan is just missing a tall presence up forward?
They're certainly missing the go-to target of Jesse White. Of course, he was a colossus down there for the Swans, but they are missing that tall
also,
timber.
Mitch Morton not playing today?
Absolutely announced his retirement from AFL football. He'd be a handy get for some of the NEAFL type clubs here in Canberra, but it's punched away there. If we get back, and we'll go back to that one as it's taken away by the Giants. It's a strong tackle there laid by Towers. I think that's why you've got Towers down there looking for a bit of height there, and he's been rewarded on this occasion as Dean Towers, and he's hard pressed on the boundary line. It's a difficult angle to score goals here at ANZ from that angle. Does he like his chances? I think he does. He's looking sideways for an option. Not a lot of movement for him. He's going to have a plug in him. As we ride it home with Dean Towers, he might be a welcome addition to the full forwards club. Oh, he's hit the post. That was a good effort there from Towers. He's hit the near post. But yeah, going back to your point, the Swans are really missing that tall target. I think that is one deficiency in their list. Yep. If they get a couple of more injuries in the senior side going further into the AFL season, I think they will start to struggle, and you'll see some of the cracks start to open up. But nonetheless, they've got players that step in. They have got quite an extensive injury list at the moment, but it's back to the footy. It's the Sam Reid over there towards Sumner as he dodges the high tackle there from Brown. It's taken away over there by Schultz. Schultz into the silky skills of Edwards. Edwards brings it right across the Brown with good vision there was Edwards, and it's taken away there by Golds. Golds right on centre wing, taken over there to Lockie Plowman. He goes into the middle of the ground looking for that of Reid, who'd done a lot of the power work. He started to play in the back flank here, and it's just held up there by the Swans defenders, and the umpire will say, "I'll have it, thanks very much." No, he's put the whistle away today as the umpire allowed the players to play it. So, yes, the Swans missing that tall target.
The Giants looking good though. You know, when they get a bit of space, they do link up quite well, and they're leading the possession count 119 to 92 at this stage. So they have had a lot of the footy.
It's just the Swans are playing probably a little bit better keepings off. Now it's taken away out there by Lloyd Paris. He dodged one or two out towards Membray. He got a quick handball over the top there, and it's only as far as Tim Golds, but he was wrapped up in a ball and all tackle there from the Swans defender. And the umpire has said, I think he's going to pay, he's paid a free kick against the Golds for holding the football or incorrect disposal. So the Swans on centre wing here at ANZ Stadium. Glorious day for football. Late start, the 4 o'clock start here for this round 21 clash. Of course, Eastlake taking on Tuggeranong. We'll get you a score from that one, I believe. That'll be Eastlake who take the points there. So that'll cement their spot in the top 5. So they will play finals in 2013. It looks like we've got a settled final 5, Andrew. It'll be Belconnen, Sydney, Giants, the tricolours of Ainslie, and of course the Eastlake Demons. It's just a matter of where they finish. This will have a great bearing on the effect of the makeup of the final 5, but it's out there towards that of Xavier Richards in the middle of the ground. He got a quick handball away over towards that of Blake Erickson. It was taken away there by Biggs. Biggs down there towards that of Lloyd. Lloyd does a bit of foot candy there and steps on his left and his right. Out there towards there of Paris. Paris went inboard towards that of Lloyd again as they look for that tall target there, but it just allows the Giants defenders to clear it out. It's out towards Dom Tyson. Tyson stood his ground there nicely. Got a quick handball away over there to John O'Rourke, and they go down the ground. That should be a free kick. The umpire says no play on. I thought he was interfered there with Sam Reid, but it's out there towards Biggs. Biggs drives it back down to the middle of the ground there, and it was a bit high and a bit hard for Brad Plug to take that one. He just merely had to plug the hole, but the Giants clear it away now through Sam Schultz into the middle of the ground. It's out towards the runner Thornton. Thornton dropped what he should have taken. He'd spent it before he got it. He's going to get it back through the middle of the ground now. It's out towards Edwards. Edwards goes backwards in towards the arms there of the 45 in Sam Schultz. Schultz was a poor handball there, taken away by Miles, but the Giants still with hand and foot, and they go down towards the... that's clean bowled the maul. I think that's going to be a goal. I think it is. Yeah. What's the goal umpire said? Yes, she has. So I think that was a goal, and it was kicked there by Sam Frost, the 48, the ruckman. It was a scrubby-looking kick off the boot. Yes, it was. Sam Frost was the goal kicker on that occasion, and it clean bowled the maul, Andrew.
It did, mate. And while we talk finals, the Giants can finish. They can finish anywhere between 2nd and 5th, so they've got everything to play for. And the news coming in from Greenway, Brett, is that Eastlake had a 42-point win over Tuggeranong, so they'll move 4 points clear of UWS at this stage. UWS obviously we'll wait on the outcome of this game, but it's getting quite tight there on the ladder. Ainsley, of course, having 40 points already and the bye. So next week there's going to be some very interesting games to see where we end up in with the finals positions.
Round 22 could be the defining moment for the North Eastern Football League season. Of course, it was taken away by Reid. He's still on the ground in the middle here at ANZ Stadium, but it is Ugle. He just threw that away, and it was cleared away by the Swans through that of Lloyd. Lloyd goes down there towards, and was a good grab there taken out there by the Swans. I can't quite pick up who it is out there, but it was a good grab, and now they push it down inside there towards Cox, and was taken away by the Giants defenders and rushed over there by Matt Buntine. He failed to pick it up, and it just found the bottom of his boot. We'll get a boundary line throw in 35-40 metres from the Swans goal. It is the Sydney Swans 3-7-25 and leading the UWS 2-3-15. Of course, you can keep up to date with all things NEAFL through the website, through the Twitter applications, through your iPhone, through the Android networks, as it's out there to Edwards. He took it in front of Rowan. Rowan just caught out there, just adjusting to the pace of the game, of course, coming back from the horrific injury. It's a free kick out here to Thornton. Brett Thornton in the back half of the Giants. He goes over towards Tyson. Tyson on the left boot goes long down the line towards that of Ayres, in towards that of Jaksh. Jaksh goes long into no man's land, and it just allows the Swans defender to come across there to Shane Biggs. He'll get and go now, will Shane Biggs. He'll pick the right option. Biggs. It was a poor kick by Biggs. He makes Gary Rowan work for that one, and work he did, and that was a great spoil there from Gary Rowan, showing no ill effects of that broken leg, Andrew. He covered some ground there.
You can tell he wants back in the senior team, I think.
Absolutely everything to play for Gary Rowan, the number 16 for the Sydney Swans. Great to see him back out there. And it's taken away on the bottom of the pack there by John O'Rourke, and he got a free kick for some high contact around the head. It was a little bit sloppy there from Robinson. O'Rourke goes across the ground as they're opening the play up. He goes out there towards Golds. Golds at half back across to there of the number 2 in Jake Barrett. Barrett goes down towards that of Thornton, but it was well punched away there by Xavier Richards. It looks like they've made that change there. It is Xavier Richards now on Brett Thornton, after we thought Alex Brown might have been the wrong matchup.
And he has drifted out of the game a little bit, Thornton, hasn't he? We saw him the go-to man a couple of times during early in the second quarter, but just hasn't quite got a handle on it.
And it's out there towards the runner, Membray. Membray, he'll see this across the line in front of that of Stephen Gillam. The solidly built Tim Membray for the Sydney Swans. Played a couple of senior games this year, I think. Tim Membray, is he? Bon Membray? Yeah.
I think he has, and he's got a big assignment today on Gillam. Gillam, I think, is stuck on 99 games, I think, with mostly for the Hawks. So he'll be looking to get back in the senior team as soon as possible. So a good match up there.
and it was just towed over the line there by Armstrong. And the umpire indicated it to come off his knee. It didn't look like it come out of bounds on the full, but it's a throw-in, and it's Frosty doing the ruck work, of course. And in the absence of their regular ruckman, Tom Downey, he's been elevated for his first senior game today, so that's a great achievement for Tom Downey.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
And it's got to a standstill here at ANZ Stadium. 10 minutes gone in this second quarter. It's Frost with a tap down, only as far as the Swans, and it was Armstrong who intercepted that. It's over towards that of Jaffa Williams, out there towards that of Towers, the lead of Towers. He's going to do a 1-2. Biggs created the overlap there for him, but it was Towers going down there towards Gary Rowan, and was punched away by the Giants defenders in Gillum and Tim Golds, and Golds gives Gary Rowan a friendly pat on the back there and says, "Well done, son."
And Towers still looking dangerous at the moment. He's had 8 disposals, 4 kicks and 4 handballs along with his goal.
They just rack them up so quickly, don't they?
I'm just looking at the Giants' possessions there, Brett, and it's the usual suspects in the midfield. Rourke, Sumner, Edwards and Tyson all having 10 or 11 possessions.
A quick snap by the North Shore product. Is it Blake Guthrie? North Shore, St George. Blake Guthrie had another quick snap at goal, and it's just found the boundary line. So this is in the Swans scoring opportunity. 20 metres from goal. They love the stoppage work to the Swans. Doing battle in the ruck is Jordan Weir. It's taken away by the Giants there. They tried to tow it off and hack it out of the ground, did the Swans. Jaffa Williams just guarding space, but it was run over the line there by Matt Bunteen, and we'll get another behind there. Another rush behind for the Sydney Swans. That punches their lead out by a point, so it is 3-8-26 to 2-3-15, round 21 of this North Eastern Football League clash. And it's into the arms of Bunteen. Bunteen comes further afield, looking for Lachlan Plowman in front of Rowan, right on the paint at 50. Looking for the right option. He'll come long down the line. That he does. Poor looking kick off the boot. Jacks was the high flyer over there towards that of Miles. Miles got a quick handball over there towards the 17 in Lachlan Ayres, and it was just a good tackle there from the Sydney Swans defenders. That's one thing they do really well, the Swans, is just guard space. They don't get sucked into the play, they just guard space, and we've seen that there where they've just created a turnover when the Giants were out.
Yeah, that's right, and Lockie Ayres, North Shore product, I think it's his second game of being a top-up, so he would have, I suppose, felt that the pace of the footy being the next level up.
So here's Thornton trying to impact the contest. He collected the Blake Guthrie high, but it's well taken away there by Robinson, and I think he's going to get a free kick. The umpire says play on. Here goes Jordan Weir with a good handball over there towards the runner Towers. Towers directly in front, 35 out. He doesn't miss. Welcome to the Full Forwards Club, Dean Towers. We've spoke about those key players getting their hands on the footy. Dean Towers on the run there. That was good play by the Swans. They just guard space so well, created a turnover. Now they've got maximum points on the scoreboard.
That's right, and I suppose we're privileged sitting up right in the stratosphere here today at ANZ, and the Swans structure and setup, you can see it clearly. When they do go forward, they build that wall and they don't let it back out, and they guard that space well, as you said, Brett.
And the thing that they do well is they don't rely just on the one player to have the all-make score involvements, and that's the hard thing to counteract against the Swans. Is if one doesn't get you, two will get you, or three will get you.
And they're certainly a well-disciplined team. You see that within the senior team, and there's no exceptions within the full playing list. They're really well disciplined, and they play the team game well.
And it's over towards Ugle as they play keepings off and share it around. That's out to the number 2, and that's Jake Barrett. He did some nice footwork out there. It goes down there towards, I think it's Jacks who's moved forward down there now. It's into the arms of that of Lachlan Ayres, and it was just punched away. It's out there towards that of Jake Barrett. He has a quick snap on the ground, but the Swans defence was resolute in that situation. I thought he got a hand in the back. I think the umpire's going to play holding the ball here. You betcha he is. So it's a free kick. Well done there to, I think it's Matt Bunteen, is it, down there, or Liam Sumner? We'll pick it up in a minute. He just stood his ground. It is Liam Sumner, the surfy. Liam Sumner. He'll get the Giants third, directly in front. He makes no mistake with that one, does Liam Sumner. So that's a good goal there to Liam Sumner. It inches the Giants closer, 4-8-32 to the Swans, leading the UWS 3-3-21. 15 minutes gone in this round 21 clash. Of course, we spoke about the Swans from your level as the general manager, Andrew. You have a lot of involvement with the AFL program, and you've talked about the Swans as a club and as an organisation, very professional from the top to the bottom.
Absolutely, Brett. Every dealing you have with them, they've got a fantastic culture. They I suppose, keep their own affairs in order, and the way I suppose their team presents as a selfless, sort of well-unified team, I think it goes right through their organisation. Couldn't speak more highly of them as a professional sporting club.
It's those rare insights that I guess the average person doesn't get to see, that people don't understand, and that's why they've had success in the last 10 years in winning a couple of AFL premierships. People don't realise how hard it is to actually do it, but to win two and play in a couple of grand finals as well probably speaks volumes for the organisation.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's something that you have to build up over time, and it means that everyone has to be honest with each other to try and get that culture to where it is. So, premierships and grand finals are hard to come by, but I think you're seeing the fruits of their labour right now, and it's certainly the best marketing tool for a developing sport within the Sydney environment is to win premierships.
There you have it, and there's a free kick out here to Yaron Jaffa Williams. Jaffa Williams goes with the left foot down there towards that of Sumner in front of Doug Haddon. Yeah, the Swans, they certainly, let's not make no bones about it. They struggled when they relocated as the South Melbourne side up here in Sydney, but, full credit to turn it around in 20-odd years and win a couple of flags. So, an amazing effort, and full credit to the Sydney Swans. But it's out there towards Jordan Weir. He does a backflip and turns around, and he goes out there towards Haddon, to the speedy Jaffa Williams. Williams out there towards Memray, kicks it over his head, doesn't give him a lot of opportunity, just needs to brush up on the foot skills as Yaron Jaffa Williams out there towards Edwards. He just toyed with him. Now the speedy Edwards, he gets away with it. Sean Edwards through the middle of the ground looking for his partner in crime in Gerald Ugle, and it's taken away there by Guthrie. He went to ground, got a quick handball away. That was well done by Blake Guthrie, and it is a free kick out here to Jake Lloyd into the middle of the ground, unaccounted for is Armstrong. Armstrong plugs at 65, looking down there towards Gary Rowan, and he got plenty of it. Plenty of it he did, and the umpire has awarded the mark to Gary. Welcome back to this round 21 clash between the Sydney Swans and the UWS Giants, brought to you live through NEAFL.com, live from ANZ Stadium. It is the Sydney Swans.
Lockie Buzzard obviously being the GWS Giants academy manager and having a run around with the kids today.
And it's Gary Rowan. He gets his first for the board. It's a little bit misleading with the nets at the back of the ground. You think it hits the post, but it doesn't hit the post. Gary Rowan, he gets his first for the afternoon, and he gets the Swans fifth as they push their lead further out here in this round 21 clash. It is the Sydney Swans 5-8-38 to the UWS 3-3-21. So the Swans get the bragging rights in the NEAFL so far for this round 21 clash. They're not going to give up without a fight. Don't worry about that. What we are seeing is the fruits of their labour out there through their academy sides. Some of their top-up players playing through the academy system. It seems to be working for the Sydney Swans, Andrew.
It is, and I suppose what we've seen with the top-ups that they have brought into the team is that they haven't looked out of their depth, and whether it's from Sydney or whether it's from the Black Diamond AFL up in the Hunter or even further north in Coffs Harbour, they have had good young players coming through, and talent takes a while to develop, and we're starting to see that after in the last 3 years of hard work.
And that was a great clearance by Doug Haddon in the middle of the ground, down towards the last goal scorer in Rowan, and he again just kicked it over to his advantage, knowing that Gary Rowan's got superior reach. Of course, taken at number 6 in the draft by the Sydney Swans. In front of him, the Kangaroos took Ben Cunnington at 5, so it was a toss-up. But here, is he going to kick 2 in 2 minutes? Gary Rowan, you betcha. There's another one to his name, Gary Rowan, and that's the Swans 6 as they continue their march here at ANZ Stadium. They move along to 6-8-44 to UWS 3-3-21. Of course, the Giants with the superior percentage in the NEAFL competition for season 2013. The Swans sitting second in the ladder. Can they finish on top? Like you said, they're not going to go quietly, and they're not going to go without a fight.
Absolutely, and the Swans fighting for that top position with Belconnen. Belconnen have got a good run home, but everything to play for.
Back to the middle of the ground, the goal scorer Gary Rowan, 2 in 2 minutes. It's great to see him out there. He'll be pressing his names up in lights. Highly rated at the Sydney Swans is Gary Rowan, a very popular member of the club. Probably epitomises that blood spirit and that blood's culture, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Gary's well regarded within the club, I know. And you see the way he's come back from his injury, he's champing at the bit.
Yeah, it is a great football story. It's in the middle of the ground by Reid. Reid taken away there by Dom Tyson. Oh, that was a great smother there from Xavier Richards. And there was a quick handball over there. It was cleaned up there by the Giants, and it was a good kick there. And it's just missed there by James Stewart.
Yeah, just didn't get quite the bounce that he needed there to roll on and get a goal.
And it's out there towards Armstrong. He goes across to Biggs. Biggs in the back half now. He's a good decision maker, is Shane Biggs. There's another one that's reaping the rewards of hard work. Out there towards Lockyer, of course promoted to the senior list from the rookie list, was Shane Biggs. Out there towards that of Membray, it was punched away down there by the Giants' defence. He's probably winning the points down there. I think it's out there it is Plowman doing the job on Membray down there. And it is the Giants going forward now as they go across to Big Frosty, the last goal scorer for the Giants. They go inboard. Oh, that was a poor kick. He looked for Thornton, who was unaccounted for, but it was Shane Biggs just stepping in the way out there towards Cunningham. The solidly built Harry Cunningham. He's had his injury issues throughout the season. Of course, he had a bad hamstring. And it's Dan Robinson. Robinson onto the runner Biggs, half back, out to Armstrong. Armstrong sells a bit of candy out there towards the runner Biggs. He says, thanks very much, I'll evade the would-be tackler. Goes down towards the goal scorer in Rowan. Out now to Membray. Membray gets one around the corner. That's a fantastic kick. Timmy Membray, take a bow. The number one for the Sydney Swans. Snapped it deep in the pocket here at ANZ Stadium. Fantastic goal. That's the Swans' 7th as they skip further away here at ANZ Stadium in the Battle of Sydney.
That was a fantastic goal by Membray there. He's had a tough tussle up forward, but he's been going quite well, and I reckon that's almost a candidate for the goal of the year coming up with the Mulrooney Medal on the 13th of September. Brett?
We'll put that one forward. That was a fantastic shot by Membray. He struggled to break the leash down there. It looks like he's being double teamed. They're alternating between Gillam and Plowman on him, so he's highly regarded. But you can see what he can do. That was just a superb effort here at ANZ Stadium. That's a hard pocket to kick from as they get a clearance out of the middle of the ground. Out there towards Cunningham. Cunningham towards Rowan. And the goal scorers are on fire. They're going to go back to back. And it is Tim Membray, the number one for the Sydney Swans. They draft similar type players, and you can see Jed Lamb taking over from a Martin and Matner. Obviously, he's played a couple of roles. We've seen Dean Rampy just slot straight into that Swans lineup coming from the Sydney League, and that's just a great story, I think, and it speaks volumes to the NEAFL competition, Andrew.
Yeah, Dean Rampy's been a fantastic success story for Sydney footy. He's bona fide, he's a Coogee boy, and he grew up in his hair, the blonde locks suggests everything about that sort of lifestyle, but fantastic player, and he's fitted him really well to that side as we see Membray slot through his second in pretty quick succession.
So the two key forwards have gone back-to-back goals, the pair of them. That is Rowan and Membray. 8-8-56, the Giants 3-4-22. Really need a lift from Thornton, really need a lift from Jacksh. They need Dom Tyson in the middle of the ground to get a bit more of the footy and release the shackles, and they need a couple of their key playmakers to get more of the footy. The Swans just shutting them right out of it and just playing keepings off.
Yeah, spot on. Thornton with only the 6 possessions and Jack with 4 at this stage, and 2 goals to Thornton. It's really drifted him right out of the game at this stage.
That he has, so full credit to, I think it's Xavier Richards on him and Alex Brown. It's Brown on him now, and it's taken away there by Cunningham, and he's had the last 4 or 5 clearances out of the middle of the ground. But as they raffle it off in the back, and it's Sam Schultz out there towards Gillum, he was tackled there by Membray. He's got his tail up now as Tim Membray. He was well held for the first quarter and a half. But he's bounced back in this second quarter, Andrew, with a couple of stunning goals here at ANZ Stadium. The umpire throws it in. It is Weir doing battle with Frost, the stronger body Sam Frost. He's doing a good, honest job there. There is Jordan Weir. We spoke about the development of the Swans. You can see they're just very comfortable coming in and playing their role. It's out in towards the Giants. It's out with Schultz. Schultz over there towards Reed. Reed off one, step down towards Frost. The umpire's gone free kick to Frost. I think the bigger body size got there of Jordan Lockyer, but it is Sam Frost right in front of the broadcast box here at ANZ Stadium. Centre wing, it is the Sydney Swans, 8-8, 56, 3-4, 22. Of course, the Demons got over the Hawks at Greenway Oval today by, what did you say, 52, 53 points? 42 points, so that's a good win by the Eastlake Demons. That's now 2-1. After Tuggeranong jumped them early in the season, and it's taken out there by Ayres, the new boy, the top up for the Giants. He goes long down the line, looking down there towards that. I think it's Tim Golds down there, is it? It's brought through the middle of the ground towards Miles. Miles in the centre of the ground. He comes further afield looking for that of O'Rourke. Slipped over, did Jaffa Williams. It was a quick handball away there from the 33. We think that's Jack Dimmery. It is Jack Dimmery. Punched away there by Plowman. Plowman over towards Ugle. Ugle quickly under the left boot going down there towards Thornton. Was punched away there by Brown. He's now getting frustrated. Brett Thornton, he threw the arm out in frustration towards Alex Brown. He's a highly disciplined backman, is Alex Brown, for the Sydney Swans.
We just see those structures, as you said, Brett, they just they get back and set up so well, and they're so well organised, the Swans.
Yeah, they all take ownership of their part of the ground, but it's taken away there cleverly by Lloyd. Lloyd down there towards the run there of Matthew Dick. Dick gets, it is Yaron Jaffa Williams, the speedy Jaffa Williams. That's a clever kick from Jaffa Williams. Which way will it bounce? The yellow Sharon, if you don't mind. 4 points to Yaron Jaffa Williams. He played that fantastically well.
He knew what he was doing, didn't he?
Absolutely. He gave the Sharon, he gave it a tweak. He could have thought the SCG with the round red ball. That was a wonderful kick there by Jaffa Williams. He's a highly skilled player. He gets the Swans 9th as they extend their lead by 6 goals 4 here at ANZ Stadium. And they've had a couple of heartbreaking losses, the Swans, through season 2013. Obviously got pipped up on the coast there by the Gold Coast after leading by a big margin. The Gold Coast Suns come charging home and got over by a point.
That's right, and that was, he's living up to his name there, I think, Jaffa, with that goal, and probably had a bit more spin on it than Nathan Lyon's 4 wickets last night.
The Aussies have been loving that. They're getting 4 for, so that's out back to the footy here, and it's taken away here by Lloyd. He's another solid player for the Sydney Swans, is Jake Lloyd. He just goes about his business and just racks up the possessions out there towards Buntine. Buntine with a little underground handball over there towards that of Robindon. The umpire says, I'll have it. Throw it in. 28 minutes gone here at ANZ Stadium, coming up to half-time. The Swans with a handy break. We'll chew things, all things NEAFL, with the General Manager, Andrew Knott, joining me in the commentary box here at ANZ Stadium. It's great to have you aboard, Andrew, through neafl.com.au. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I'm Brett Davis.
It's interesting that the Giants still leading the possession count there, 191 to the Swans 157, but the Swans obviously well up on the scoreboard, and I think the Giants have been trying to get through that defence but just haven't been able to find an efficient way through at this stage, but as the Swans clear out of defence once more.
I think that's a key word, efficient, and it's just the Swans far more efficient in their use of the footy. As the siren sounds here for half-time, as the lights come on, it is the Swans 9-8-62, the Giants 3-4-22. The Swans skipped away in that second quarter, Andrew.
They certainly did, and they're up by 40 points, so they had a really solid second quarter.
Welcome back to this round 21 clash of the North Eastern Football League Conference here at the ANZ Stadium. It is the Sydney Swans 9-8-62 with the GWS Giants 3-4-22. Andrew, the Giants with all the work to do in this second half here at ANZ.
They certainly do, Brett. They've got to get past the Swans' pressing defence and also try and match them on the tackle count and the defensive measures of the game. I think if they can do that, then they can go some way to bridging this gap in the third quarter.
And it's in the middle of the ground there. It's Frost. He kicks the ball out. There was a good clearance, but only as far as the Swans' defence, and a diving mark taken down there by Brown. He goes short towards Biggs. The key playmakers for the Swans have had plenty of it, Andrew. We'll go through the statistics.
Yeah, Biggs, he's always been the biggest possession getter on the ground, or second biggest with 14. So coming out like that as a key defender, he's had a fantastic game, as we see. A really good mark to
Richards.
Who's that? Xavier Richards.
Just stuck the one duke up and it stuck. A la Hayden Bunton punched over the boundary line there. And they get some physical presence out there, the Giants, as the umpires paid a free kick there for a late lashing there from the Sydney Swans player. Obviously something happened out there that we weren't privy to. He reacted angrily, didn't he?
Like what he said there, but not too much in it. Both teams... Yeah, with so many players eligible to play senior footy, you wouldn't want to be going out and getting reported in the reserves.
Of course, we spoke during the halftime break off air, Andrew. This has a massive bearing on the shape of the final five for the North Eastern Football League Conference finals.
It does. You're looking at either of these teams, if they win, at least hosting in the first week of the finals, most likely finishing second. The Giants, with that result to Eastlake, if they do lose this game, they've got to go up to Brisbane and play the Brisbane Lions, who sit clear on top of the ladder. So if they might finish off with 2 losses if they don't get up here, and that would put them down 4th, 5th on the ladder, and relinquish some home ground advantage going into the second or third week of the finals. So a lot to play for, and the Swannies looking, I suppose, to consolidate their position on the ladder and get a home final in their first match.
So, as it stands, it'd be Belconnen, presuming they beat Queanbeyan tomorrow at Dairy Farmers, and that was just taken there by Golds through to Ugle. Ugle in the middle of the ground for the Giants. He goes down towards that of O'Rourke in front of Armstrong. Good grab there. He made him earn it, did Tony Armstrong. John O'Rourke been prolific for the Giants. A very high draft pick, number 2 draft pick. He looks like he's grasping the shoulder there, O'Rourke. That's no good for the Giants going forward. Out towards the other destroyer in Sumner. Sumner goes down there towards Edwards. He stuck one hand up out towards Haddon in the middle of the ground. He gets it over there towards Biggs. Biggs just trails the ball through as the Swans never say die attitude comes to the fore. It's taken away there by Guthrie out towards the other speedster in Cox. Cox led the foot race there in front of the of the Giants defender, and he put it down through unselfishly inside the forward 50. As the Sydney Swans get yet another scoring opportunity out there towards Jordan Weir. Weir, with a funny looking kick, he took the heat right off it, and guess who pops up with it? It is a quick kick around the corner to the Sydney Swans, and guess what? Full points. He took something off the kick there, did Jordan Weir. It was a fantastic kick, and the Swans, they push further ahead here. 10-8-68, UWS 3-5-23. Also next week for the North Eastern Football League, looking further ahead in the crystal ball, what shapes as a monumental clash is Eastlake v Ainslie.
Yeah, really, I suppose, fighting for that third spot. So whoever wins that game will finish higher on the ladder, and that could have a bearing on, I suppose, whether you get the double chance or not. So a lot to play for in that particular game.
Some bad news for the Giants. O'Rourke was just carried off holding his left shoulder. John O'Rourke, the prolific possession getter, he's had a sterling back half of the season. Of course, a high draft pick for the Swans. That's for the Giants. That's no good for them as Rowan toes the ball out of the middle. He's had a good start to this game as Gary Rowan, 2 games. His body work's been fantastic. He's throwing himself at everything, and that's taken down there towards Membray. Towers evades the tackle. Down there was that of Jake Barrett, and the Swans forward just apply the pressure there. Now it's in the hands of Robinson. Robinson screws it around the corner looking for Cox. Cox did some good work with the body there, tried to feed it out towards that of Cunningham. It's out towards Rowan. He was grabbed when he didn't have the footy, and now it's taken away by the Swans again through Towers looking for his third. He snaps it around the corner only as far as the behind post, Dean Towers, so he's got 2-1, and they just continue to fight so hard inside the forward 50, and they cherish every possession, the Swans, don't they, Andrew?
Yeah, they do. And I just noticed Brett Thornton started off the ground in this third quarter, so going with a different structure, the Giants in the start of the third. He's on now, though, by the looks, Thornton. So
it is. It's out to Jax. Jax gets a handball. He picks it up there towards the run there of, I think it is that of Jeremy Finlayson. It was Finlayson. It's into the hands of Ayres over towards Jax, but now it's the man Shane Biggs, the leading possession getter on the ground. It's over there towards that of Thomas Head. Head drives it into the middle of the ground towards the speed of Cox. Toes it off the ground. That he did. Well done, Daniel Cox. Well done to Thomas Head, who just put the ball to the top of the square and allowed the speed of Daniel Cox to run on and kick the easiest of goals off the ground. Well done, Sydney. Well drilled, well disciplined outfit to kick their 11th.
Yep, spot on, Davo. Well drilled there by Tommy Head. He's a big fella too, Tommy Head. You know, plays a key position or in the ruck, and he showed his mobility there, and just a disciplined thing to do, to put it to the top of the square and allow his Swans teammate to run on and kick the goal.
Yeah, of course, the last goal scorer was Thomas Head. He is a big unit out there, is Tom Head, playing in the ruck, alternating at full forward. So the Swans have really got the motors on here at ANZ Stadium as the lights come in preparation for the main game here between the Swans and Collingwood. Looking forward to that one, but it's taken away by Lloyd out of the middle of the ground down there towards the speedster in Rowan. Rowan leads the foot race in front of Josh Rodman, but guess what? Gary Rowan, he kicks his second, and he's got his he's missed that one. He was looking for his third. He's just pushed it.
Showed a bit of pace there.
He did show the wheels off, didn't he? He's got a supreme set of wheels as Gary Rowan, and he's looking great. It's great to see him back out there, and it's taken through the middle of the ground by the Giants. It's just starting to open up for the Giants down there as they look down there towards that of Jeremy Finlayson. It's taken away there by Brown for the Swans. He saw Cox out the corner of his eye. Of course, the last goal scorer was Daniel Cox. Cox will now go to that favoured left foot. Daniel Cox, now he goes on the right. That was a good kick. He just waited for the right option, and Membray hit it up for him. Timmy Membray. They just patiently wait for the right option. The Swans, he goes long, took something off the kick, kicks it to the space down there. It was Thornton. No, it was Gillum who just got the hand and fist to it. Of course, experienced defender is Stephen Gillum.
So the Giants just getting a few numbers back here, so able to just slow it down a bit and not allow the Swans too much space in their forward line.
Of course, if you've just joined us in the broadcast, joining me in the commentary box is none other than the General Manager of the NEAFL in Andrew Knott. I'm Brett Davis. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Plenty more football to come through season 2013 as we bring you through all the games of the finals. So the mums and dads and all their followers can stay tuned to NEAFL.com, Andrew. That's correct? For the final series.
Correct. Yeah, we'll have full coverage of the finals coming up in 2 weeks. So it's a good part of the year. They had a nice spring-type, finals-type feel to the day today with the sun shining, and now it's a balmy evening in ANZ as the lights take effect.
There you have it. So you can keep up to date through NEAFL.com. Of course, you can keep up to date through NEAFL TV with Fiona Nelson every Wednesday, but it's down there towards Sumner, the speedy Liam Sumner. He's worked hard for the Giants out there today as Liam Sumner. Out there to the clever Gerald Ugle over there towards Bunteen with a quick handball to the back half there now. It's out there to Josh Rodman, and they're fiddling around with it in the middle of the ground as they can't penetrate the Swans' numbers in the back half. It was Bunteen. Now they've caused the turnover. A quick handball away. It's over towards that of Towers. He dropped what he should have taken. He kicked it away only as far as that of it is James Stewart in the back half there, and that was a poor kick from James Stewart off the boot, and it's just beaten them all over the boundary line, and that's a good result for the Sydney Swans. There's a few of them out there sucking a bit of air as this game starts to take effect. Of course, you mentioned the heat. It was 23, 24 degrees out here at ANZ today, so a late start to the afternoon, and they just get around the numbers, and it's out towards that of Gillum. Gillum now through the middle of the ground, treats them with contempt. Quick handball over there towards the pacey Sean Edwards. He was just put off his line. He goes down towards that of Sam Reid. Reid tried to make a contest, and he only went as far as Alex Brown, and the umpire says, you didn't make a contest of it legally, Sam. I'm going to pay a free kick against you.
Yeah, just didn't go for the ball there, Sam Reid. He actually played the man, and hence the umpire gave the free kick away.
Out to Cunningham. Rowan with a great lead there. He's really starting to show. He's knocking on the door, isn't he, Andrew? Out there towards Thomas Head. Head will play this one safely over to the boundary line. No, he's kept that in play. He's tapped it back over there towards Jake Barrett, of course the top-up player for the GWS. He's done well there, and they come inboard towards that of Stephen Gillum. Gillum back in through the middle of the ground, and it's taken away there by I think it's Joe Redfern out there, and it's just caused a turnover. I can't quite pick up the numbers. They're very hard to see against the green backdrop, the Giants' numbers.
Fantastic forward pressure there, forward pressure by the Swans. Dean Towers effecting a fantastic tackle and allowing his teammate to have a shot at goal.
And it's taken a good mark there, taken there by James Stewart. Stewart in front of Rowan. He switches the play across to... It's that of Bunteen out there now. Bunteen goes long down the line towards the lead of Thornton, and it just stays in the boundary line with pinpoint precision there from Matthew Bunteen. He's racked up getting possessions across that half back. He gets another one back from Thornton as they struggle to penetrate the Swans. Rock solid defences. They just guard space out here at ANZ Stadium. A lot of real estate to guard out here too. Big ground, and that's a good grab taken down there by Timmy Golds. Golds in front of Yaron Jaffa-Williams. Never out of the game, these Swans small forwards. They apply pressure on the mark, they put the arms in the air, they wave around, and it's out towards Gillum. Gillum goes across to Bunteen, out towards Thornton.
Just can't get it past the forward circle at the moment, Brett. And you see someone like Thornton, who was dangerous earlier, he's been forced to play up the ground. So just again, we'll keep harping on it, but it's that really good forward, really good defence and the press that you see from the Swans is that the Giants try and switch again to try and break this press.
It was a poor kick by Gillum. He looked for Plowman, but it gives the Swans defenders as they guard the real estate out here. You wouldn't like to buy real estate off them. They're quite miserly, the Swans, aren't they, Andrew? Given the price of real estate in Sydney, they do a great job of it.
They certainly live up to living in Sydney.
Yes, certainly a bone of contention throughout the week. The living away from home allowance that the Swans are generously afforded through the AFL raises the ire of some of the bigger clubs in Melbourne, Andrew.
Yeah, we won't go there as an AFL employee, Brett. But as we see, are holding the ball against the Giants.
It's good to see that you and I can have a chuckle about it, though. It's out towards Robinson. Robinson in the middle of the ground. He gets another attacking forward foray for the Swans. He goes in towards Rowan. At the front of that pack was Paris. Paris got it out to Towers, out to the speedy Cox. No, Jaffa-Williams it was. Jaffa-Williams, just with that left boot, hit the post. Hit the upright here at ANZ Stadium as the Giants bring it out through Sumner. Sumner straight into the arms.
And Lloyd Paris really set up that scoring opportunity by being front and centre at the bottom of that pack. And
it was a great front and centre too, Andrew.
He's eligible for the draft this year, so I'm sure he'll be picked up by someone as being an AIS scholar.
Of course, not too far away. The draft, where's that being held this year? Normally the AIS in Canberra, but they had it in Blacktown.
Yeah, they had it in Holmbush last year. I think it might go back to Melbourne this year, but don't quote me on it.
Here we go through Cunningham in the middle of the ground. He comes across there to that of Matthew Dick. Dick in the middle of the ground. He goes down there further afield looking for the run there of Brad Plug, but it was punched away by the Giants' defence. And it'll be a boundary line throw in inside the Swans forward 50, 35, 40 metres from the Swans goal. It is the Sydney Swans here, 11, 12, 78, 35, 23. We've got a fair gap on the Giants now. All the work to do in this second half of the Giants. Let's see what they got. Of course, they had a poor start to the day with a number of their key players pulling out late. Is that correct, Andrew?
Yeah, they had I'm not sure if it was to do with their senior team, but they did have some top-ups come in at the last minute. Hares, Dimmery and Finlayson getting their opportunity for the Giants.
Of course, they've also lost their ball magnet in John O'Rourke. Of course, Nathan Wilson was one of those later missions, Satanta O'Helpin and Kurt Haylett. They've been instrumental in the Giants' resurgence in this 2013 NEAFL competition. It is now down with Doug Haddon. Is he going to have a ping in him from right on side 45? It'll take a good kick. He looks pretty keen to have a go at him, does Doug Haddon, the number 53 for the Swans. He started it towards the left-hand post, and that's the way it stayed.
Always a difficult kick, that, as a left footer as well.
Extremely difficult kick, as now they bring it in quickly, the Swans. The Giants. And they just own the corridor, the Sydney Swans. They will not let the Giants go through it. And that's Liam Sumner now, the speedy Liam Sumner. He's got plenty of the footy as he goes long down the line, looking for that of Golds. But it was Armstrong who won the battle there, out towards that of Guthrie. Guthrie out towards that of Jaffa Williams, out towards Haddon. Rowan with quick hands over the top there to his teammate in Stephen Ray. Ray got a quick kick over there towards Towers, looking for his third. 40 metres out, Dean Towers, 2 goals, 1 to his name already, looking for the Swans' 12th. They just chew up time on the clock and they add scoreboard pressure, the Sydney Swans, just silently creep up on you.
They did. Dean, he didn't look too confident, wanted to lay it off, but he's gone back to have a shot at the goal and ride this one home, but no, just off to the left.
He knows his range, that's one thing he does know, and it is the Swans increasing their lead in this quarter 3, this Northeastern round 21 clash here at ANZ Stadium. It's out towards Youghal as the Knights now come on under the black skies here at Sydney, and it's just run over the boundary line. It is the Sydney Swans by 57. You wait for the boundary line thrown. Of course, other round 21 games, it'll be Queanbeyan taking on Belconnen at Dairy Farmers Park, and it is the Hills Eagles taking on the Sydney Uni, the Battle of Sydney. So I'm going to get a victor there. How are they tracking the Sydney sides, both the Uni and there was a good article written on NEAFL.com this week. Daniel Gilmore, he spoke about they're on the right track, changing that, I guess, second-tier football culture coming into the main AFL
definitely
competition.
Trying to get your head around, I suppose, the culture and the need to improve your professionalism and things that you can control to get to the next level, Brett. And I think Sydney Uni have certainly done that well. I'd say they're a 10-goal better team than where they were last year. Their lists come on strongly this year, and Daniel Gilmore has been fantastic with, I suppose, the mindset, the approach to the game, and also the fitness levels involved. So Sydney Uni going quite well. Sydney Hills Eagles, they've also done quite well. We've probably treaded water a bit in the results that they've got, but both will be looking to I suppose, consolidate their list in the off-season. I know they're probably having a look at Mitch Morton. There's probably a good goal-kicking option up forward at that level, and someone who can bring some experience to both their lists. But I think both teams just need a little bit of their top-end talent just to get to that next level and push for finals.
As we ride that one through, it's just push for a minor behind. But yeah, very interesting. Of course, I had the privilege of working with Daniel with the NEAFL representative side, and you can see the professionalism. Of course, Daniel, a former Fremantle docker, now at the Sydney Uni, he's doing some wonderful things down there, and you can't change things overnight. But they're on the way up, and the Hills Eagles, they've certainly got a bit of talent, and they'll be looking for that top-end talent. It's back to the field here, and it's Edwards. He drives it down towards the miserly Swans defence, and it was a good mark taken there by Thomas Head, the solidly built Thomas Head. He goes across inboard towards that of Cunningham. Cunningham in the back half now. He goes long down the line, down there towards the run there of Lloyd Paris. Paris inboard towards Armstrong. Armstrong goes to the unaccounted for Brad Plug, who takes the easiest of mark in the corridor, 45 out, directly in front. They just move it with precision, the Sydney Swans, Andrew.
They do. Brad Plug from Balmain, he's one of the top-up players. Played a few games for the Swans this year. This will test him. Hasn't quite got onto it and drift out to the right.
And the umpire said it's gone well out, but it was a good attempt down there by Kerry Rowan. Very unlucky, but it's out of bounds on the full. So the Giants bring it in through. They have struggled to get it past half forward or through the centre of the square to be more precise. Hence their scoreboard: 3 goals, 5-23 to the Swans, 11-15-81. So that's 29 scoring shots to 8 in 2.5 quarters of footy.
It's interesting. You look at the scoreline, Brett, but then you look at the disposals, and Sydney still are trailing UWS, so they've had 217 disposals to 259, and I think it's just because the Giants are trying to chip it around and try and thread it through the Sydney defence, but haven't found a way.
And the height there of James Stewart just worried Biggs out of it. He caught on the jumper there, and he goes down there towards that of Thornton, but it was intercepted there by Robinson. Robinson out with a quick handball towards Armstrong, who sold a bit of foot candy there. He goes towards that of Cunningham as they move the ball quickly now. They've dampened any of the Giants' thoughts of getting a score in this third quarter. It's out towards Towers already with 2-2 towards his name, Towers. He puts it down towards the runner, Membray there. It was great kick to his advantage, but Timmy Membray dropped what he should have taken, and it rolls over for a rush behind as the Giants bring it in quickly. It's out there towards Plowman. Plowman goes through the corridor looking for that of, it is the number 17 in Ayres. Of course, one of the top-ups that we've mentioned, out towards Golds. Golds took it in front of Jake Lloyd, and now forces him to go down the line. And that's the really interesting thing about the Swans, is the players that come in for the top-up, they just do their job and they do it really well.
Yeah, the Swans have tried to use similar top-ups week in, week out. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that they like to keep their list pretty settled, and they like the players that are coming in and out, in for them each weekend. So they certainly know how to play within this Sydney team, and they're playing a good role tonight.
Which reminds me of another point, Andrew. Is there an opportunity for some of the, I guess we've seen some of the younger talent from Canberra come through and top up both the Sydney Swans and the Giants previously? Is that opportunity still available for them types of players that are, up emerging type players? We've seen House, maybe Benny House from East Lake's one that springs to mind, if they wanted to have a look at him. I know he's in the academy program.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Giants academy stretches down throughout southern New South Wales and Canberra. I suppose the issue with the Giants is because they've got the increased list at the moment, they've got 52 players on their senior list, and that has meant that they just haven't had the requirement for top-ups to be used throughout the season. We've seen a few here today, but that hasn't necessarily been the case throughout the season this year for the Giants. But going forward, when that list size reduces for the full senior list, then we'll see more top-ups being used.
And that was well done by Armstrong. It was in front of Towers, but it was taken away there by a Lockie Plowman. He got a kick smothered. Now it's into Sammy Reid. Reid gets a scrubby-looking kick down towards that of Thornton. He was well covered by Shane Biggs. He didn't like the attention. The 246ers went hammer and tongue at it there. He's done really well, Shane Biggs. He's playing a lot taller than he actually is. He's done a great job on Brett Thornton.
He's had a fantastic game. He's leading the possession count for the Swans with 17 disposals, 14 kicks, 3 handballs and 7 marks. So, fantastic job today, and has now got the job on Thornton.
And it's into the middle of the ground. It's over towards Jacks. Jacks with a quick handball over there towards Tyson to the runner Frost. Frost, 35, has a ping at him, and he pushes it well wide, and it rolls out of bounds. 23 minutes gone here at ANZ Stadium. It is the Sydney Swans 11-16-82 to UWS Giants 3-6-24 in this round 21 Northeastern Football League clash. Thrown in as the umpire Thornton does the ruck work. It's cleared away there by Towers as the miserly Swans defence works overtime. It's out there towards that of Paris. Paris takes it out only as far as that of Buntine. Buntine comes into the middle of the ground. Unaccounted for was Sam Frost. He gets a chance for the the UWS Giants to put their fourth on the board. Sam Frost directly in front, 35 out. I like his chances from there to become a multiple goal scorer for the Giants. It is Frost. I liked his chances, and he's pushed it. I've put the mocker on him, and he's pushed it wide as Sam Frost.
Probably just tried to kick it a bit too hard there to get the distance.
Out towards that of Paris, out to Armstrong. Armstrong tried to get around the speedy Sumner. He's got a good set of wheels as Liam Sumner as they bring it up towards that of Cox. Out towards Buntine. Buntine with a quick handball over there towards that, and it's a good mark taken there by another one of their top-ups in Jeremy Finlayson. Ooh, low crouch down low there was Ayres. He was lucky to get away with that one, and now it's out to Frost. Is he going to make amends now? No, he gets a quick handball away over there towards the Supreme supremely skilled Edwards. Sean Edwards gets the Giants fourth. So they finally got some reward on the scoreboard there, Andrew, just through some patience and hard work, and they shared the footy around. Sean Edwards was the goal kicker on that occasion for the Giants.
Yeah, and the Swan structure just falling down a little bit there. A few Giants free in the forward line, and they took full toll.
So it took a while for them to get their fourth. And that's been a real hallmark of the Swans' play here today at ANZ, is they strangle the opposition and starve them of opportunities. However, the champion data stats tell us otherwise. You'd think that the Giants have just had no ball.
That's right, but I suppose the key indicator in that respect is the tackle count, and Sydney doubling the Giants in tackles 28-14, which I suppose shows the dominance of their defensive game.
Cunningham out towards Membry. Of course, let's not forget, they're fighting for positions in their senior side. The Swans well placed in the senior side, Andrew. Can they go back to back in 2013? Of course, the 2012 premiers. So there's a lot to play for.
Yep, if you're in and around the Swans Footy Club at the moment, it's a good time of the year to be playing for them.
As they say, you're only an injury away, and it can open up for you pretty quickly. Look at Mitch Morton. He got a premiership medal last year, and was that injury away after a stellar season in the North Eastern Football League competition in 2012. He ends up playing and getting an AFL medal. And
a lot of these players who are on the fringe are having a fantastic game today. You look at the guys like Towers and Gary Rowan and Tony Armstrong. They've all been very effective in their roles they've played today.
Of course, we've also got Biggs, who was elevated to the senior list. He's another one knocking on the door. We spoke about Cunningham, Membray, as the numbers come back, but it's out towards the speedy Cox with the left foot, and that's a great running goal by Daniel Cox. Well done, young fella. That was a great goal. He sized up the opportunities. You'd like to have a couple of him running around in one of your, if you're doing some homework recruiting. He showed a clean pair of heels there, did Daniel Cox, and kicked a fantastic goal for the Swans 12. 12-16-88 to the Giants, 4-7-31. So that was a clean pair of heels there shown by Daniel Cox.
He did. He ran away from Lockie Plowman there, who I'm sure has been gut running through the midfield for 26 minutes now. But he left him for dead.
He did. He showed a nice set of wheels, but they've got a couple of these really live wire type small forwards, the Sydney Swans, and they just play their roles so well.
And a clinical finish as well.
So he sides it up, but it's in the middle of the ground. It's out towards head. This is where they have been really good in the middle of the ground, is the Sydney side. It's out there towards that of Cunningham. He's been instrumental. He's had a lot of clearances out of the middle of the ground. It's out towards that of Dick, as was Robinson, as the siren sounds for three-quarter time. It is the Sydney Swans 12-16-88, leading the UWS Giants 4-7-31 in this round 21 clash. Andrew, what did you make of that all-important third quarter?
Well, you saw the Giants, they did move it around. They tried to chip it around at centre-half back to try and get through the Swans' defence, but they just couldn't find a way, Brett. And unfortunately, they couldn't make any inroads, and that lead's actually blown out. And you look at the scoring shots, 28 scoring shots to 11. The Swans having fewer possessions, but being more clinical with the use of the footy, and their defensive acts and their defensive pressure has been outstanding. And at this stage, I think they'll run away with it.
Well, there you have it. It's just a lesson in work rate, essentially. The Sydney Swans, everything to play for. Of course, this has got a great bearing on the ladder positions for the North Eastern Football League Conference as we head into the pointy end of the season. We'll be back here shortly to bring you all the action for quarter four. It is the Sydney Swans 12-16-88, leading the UWS Giants 4-7-31. Welcome back to this round 21 clash here between the Sydney Swans and the UWS Giants from ANZ Stadium. I'm Brett Davis, and joining me in the commentary box this afternoon is none other than the General Manager for NEAFL, Andrew Knott. It is the Swans in a canter here at ANZ Stadium. What did you make of that three-quarter performance from the Swans, and what have the Giants got to do to get back into it?
Well, to be honest, Brett, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do because they're getting plenty of the footy. They just can't penetrate the Swannies' defence. But look, I don't know what Brett Hand said to them at three-quarter time. Hopefully they can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
as they look like they've changed their forward structure up a little bit. We've got Jacks down in the forward half. We've got Thornton down there. So it's out towards Frost as they go forward to centre. That's where they've really struggled, is forward to centre today, and the clearance is out of the middle of the ground, and it is Jacks fighting hard in the ball. I thought they might have moved him forward just to see what they've got out of him. It's out towards Biggs. He's been solid and resolute down in the back half there for the Swans. Out there towards that of Xavier Richards. Richards back to the ball magnet in Biggs. Biggs goes down there towards that of Stephen Ray. Ray back to Lloyd. Lloyd in the middle of the ground. He goes long down towards Doug Haddon, and it's just punched over that of Stephen Gillum. He's a live wire is Doug Haddon, the 53 for the Swans.
Yeah, certainly, I suppose if you were the Giants, you'd look to mix it up at this stage. Brett, you as a former coach, I'm sure you'd be ringing the changes.
Well, it was interesting as we spoke off air there. I just would like to see what the Giants have actually got and see what they can find. I think it's about next week for the Giants. Like you said, they've got a tough assignment. They go and play the Gold Coast next week, and you've got to see what the mental test of some of these players is, and we've just got to see what's in the tank. They've been comprehensively beaten by what most people would say is a pretty poor Sydney side. If you look over historically what Sydney trot out in the seconds, the Giants, they've had a couple of hiccups at the start of the game, but just they've been given a lesson in mental toughness today.
Yeah. And with a young list, I mean, you need to see what your guys have got, and these are the times that you can actually, I suppose,
coach them.
The test. Yeah.
Absolutely, as it's down to Membray, out to the speedy and Jaffa Williams. I've loved the look of him out there today, out towards a bloke that hasn't stopped trying in Matt Buntine. Buntine takes a bounce to himself. He's pursued by Gary Rowan, and it's into the middle of the ground. It's taken there by Stewart. James Stewart, no, it was Lockie Plowman in the middle of the ground as he slips going to ground. He's corralled by the Swans players. It's Jaffa Williams as he fights his way through that one there. He's lucky he didn't get pinged for holding the ball. I spoke too soon. He did. So it was a good tackle there by Ugle. He goes a quick handball off there towards Edwards. Oh, that was a poor decision there by Edwards over to Plowman. Now it's taken out there by Barrett, and it's just they're creating havoc out there, but it's over there towards the speedy Frost, is it? The Frost showing us clean pair of heels is big Sam Frost, so he's working overtime out there is Sam Frost, of course filling in the ruck today. It's over there towards that of Golds. Golds gets a handball over there towards Reid, who gets a running shot at goal to Sam Reid, the former Bulldog. He makes no mistake to Sam Reid. He gets his first for the afternoon. He gets the Giants fifth, so they edge a little bit closer, and they showed a little bit of promise and a little bit of bark in this last quarter, Andrew.
Yeah, they've played well in sort of snippets, haven't they? We've seen some good pace. They certainly, when they do get a bit of free space, then they do spread well. It's just that they have been choked a bit by the Swans' defence today, and just haven't been given that latitude that they would have had last week against a club like Sydney Uni.
It's the decision-making under pressure for the Giants that's gone away, and that's applied by the Sydney players. They just work you into submission, and the umpire will call that one back. No, he says play on. The umpire, I thought that was a bounce favoured the Sydney Swans, but it's Dom Tyson in the middle of the ground with a clearance out there towards Thornton, who got a clever tap out there to the speedy Sumner. Liam Sumner travels the ball, but it tracks him over the boundary line, and we'll get a boundary line throw in 60 metres from the Giants' goal. They need to get a couple of quick back-to-backs here if they're going to have any chance of bridging this gap against the powerful Sydney Swans. Of course, they're jockeying for ladder positions. I think the finals berths are all assured, but it's a matter of where they finish and where they want to play for 2013. But it's just punched away further towards the Giants' goal, 40 metres from their goal now. The umpire will throw it in. It is Weir to do battle there with Redfern. It goes to no one in particular as Armstrong. And goes to ground, tackling the Giants player. Thought he interfered with the back there of Anthony Miles, but the umpire says no, play on. This will suit the Swans. They're super good in this area as Ugle. And the umpire says that's gone out of bounds. I'll have that, thanks very much. Very hard to pick up at the Giants' numbers, Andrew, from afar, I think it'd be easier for a commentator if they were in white.
We should have brought our binoculars today, Brett.
Of course, we're enjoying the palatial surrounds here of the Channel 7 box here at ANZ Stadium. It's the speedy Sumner, hooks it off the boot, only as far as Jordan Weir, who got the fist to it and punched it behind, as all good defenders do. So that's a rush behind to the Giants, and it's brought in there by Biggs out to Armstrong. Why wouldn't you kick it to them guys? Because they just control possession so well. Oh, that's a poor kick there, but he was good enough to get out of it. It was Blake Guthrie, was it, in the back half there, as he gets out under pressure. He kicks it long down the line, looking there for James Stewart, who's got it for the Giants, in towards the middle of the ground. He receives the 1-2, gets it back in towards Tyson. Tyson with a poor kick off the boot, only as far as, I think it was Weir out there towards now. It's Jaffa Williams. He slipped as he for a second time there, but the bounce is going to beat them all. It's out to the speedy Rowan. What's he going to do with this one? He kicks it over the head of Gillum, and it's going to bounce which way? It's going to bounce through for a behind. So Gary Rowan, he's looked impressive in his couple of matches back. Great to see him back out there. That's his third score for the afternoon.
It's just a few players starting to lose their feet, so maybe a little bit of dew coming on the ground now.
It doesn't augur well for the main game. Of course, the Swans taking on Collingwood in the traditional big clash here at ANZ Stadium. It'll start to fill up very shortly as the Giants go long down the line. It was spoiled there by Edwards. It's out towards that of Golds into the back half now, and it's taken away by the Giants, and it's over there towards Barrett with over to Plowman in the middle of the ground. Now it's in the hands of Ugle, the speedy Gerald Ugle goes and puts it high towards the advantage of Thornton. Is he going to pull it down? That was a good punch away and a good spoil there by the Swans defence, and it was well done there to Jordan Lockyer. He's now got the task on Thornton. So they've rotated through Thornton pretty well today, the Swans.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jared Ugle's kick just didn't give Thornton enough of a chance. Just unfortunately, just set it up a bit too high for him and allowed the punch to be effected.
As the Swans break through Lloyd, it's into the hands of Miles with a quick kick off the boot, only as far as the top of the square. It was Thornton who tried to create the spoil there, but now it's out to the Swans as they attempt to tow it off the ground. As the players dive on the footy, which way will the umpire suit? He says, I'll have it, thank you very much. As it's Alex Brown getting up the bottom of the pack. The umpire will come in, throw the ball up, and it is Finlayson who went up for the tap there, and it is just rolled over the boundary line. The Giants players plead with the umpire for a deliberate point, but I don't think they're going to buy that one this late in the season, Andrew.
No, could have gone either way, I thought there, Brett. The ruling is that the player must be under pressure, and I suppose he was. Yeah.
Perceived pressure.
Yeah. They're certainly under scoreboard pressure.
Yeah, it's a head in towards Armstrong. He's been serviceable in the back half there. He's a handy little backup. Of course, he played a couple of finals late in the season last year for the Sydney Swans. Armstrong comes long down the line, looking down there for Robinson. Dan Robinson is the ball in hand now for the Swans, and as they've got a 50-metre penalty. I didn't pick up what that was for, but it's a good 50. You'll bring him within scoring range, 60 metres out. Dan Robinson for the Sydney Swans. Can he go for 13 for the Swans? As the leads come in, that was too easy by Towers. That was poor defensive work from the Giants there. And it was Matt Bunteen, I believe, in the back half there. It just allowed Towers the easiest run out inside the forward 50. Didn't block up the space.
Yeah, it just slipped away from him, Towers. And Bunteen's generally had a good match, but Towers just slipping away there. And he's been good, Towers, today.
He's a likely type. He reminds me of Marty Matner, of course, the recently retired Swan. As Towers looking for his third, and he's hit the post, has he? Yes, he has. So 2 goals, 3. He hasn't had a good day with the kicking boots, Andrew.
No, the Swannies, I suppose, one aspect of the game they haven't been great at today is their finishing, and they've kicked, 12 goals, 18, so something to work on at least for next week.
Yeah, they get plenty of practice down at training, and then there's the other thing that I like about the Swans is they don't go to ground with the ball. They actually release the ball before they go to ground, so it gives the opposition less chance of bottling the ball up. That's fantastic, and that's a great goal there. I think it is a goal, is it? Yes, it is, and it was. I'll pick it up in a minute, but that was a fantastic goal down there. The Sydney Swans.
It really came out of nothing too.
I think it was. It's the number 52, Guthrie, is it? Or no?
Brad Plug, I think it is, 54.
Yeah, it is Brad Plug, so that's a fantastic goal to Brad Plug. That's the second one we've seen deep from that pocket here at ANZ. Fantastic goal to Brad Plug. Well done, son. You've worked hard and you've earned that one. Yet they've kicked the impossible ones today, the Swans.
Yeah, they have, yeah. They're certainly they're hitting the hard ones, missing the easy ones. So
when you come back to the middle of the ground, it is Frost in the middle of the ground doing battle with Head, only as far as the Giants player in Reed. Reed out towards Tyson. Tyson sells a bit of candy through the middle of the ground, looking there for Thornton. Thornton was well held there by Lockyer, butted up his kick out towards that of Sam Reed, the last goal scorer for the Giants. He puts it into the middle of the ground, and it was well done to the last goal scorer for the Swans in Plug. So they're fighting hard in the middle of the ground as Plowman got dispossessed. It was Robinson who set that one up for the Swans. And it's out now towards the boundary line in the middle of the ground near the Toyota Access. Round 21, it is the Sydney Swans 13-18-96 leading the Giants 5-9-39. And that's out of bounds on the full. This shapes as a real ladder shape of this one, this round 21 clash. Of course, there'll be a couple of Canberra clubs sweating on the results here, Andrew.
Certainly, and I don't think anyone would have expected the Swans to dominate the game like they have.
There's a few lessons out here to be learnt if they're watching the coverage. Certainly gives them all a lot of hope, doesn't it, Andrew, going forward?
It does, and the Giants, they will be restricted coming into finals. If the regulations of the NEAFL say that the Giants are only to have 18 listed players on the field during finals, so
is it 14 and 4 or 18?
It's 18 for the Giants, 14 for
the Swans, and that's a good diving mark there, taken by the athletic Daniel Cox. He gets a chance to put on his second, and the Swans 14th. So they get to play with 4 more listed players. Is that the ruling, the Giants,
right,
in throughout the finals? So we'll bear that in mind. Of course, they've lost one of their key playmakers in John O'Rourke. Do they have restrictions in the games played and the numbers played? They can't just if you've played too many senior games, you can't come back and play. He's missed that one as Daniel Cox, is that right?
Yeah, if you've played 5 senior games, then that means you have to have played 9 NEAFL games.
So there you have it. So they're the most used senior list at AFL level of the Sydney Swans, but it's back to the middle of the ground. It's Head who affected the spoil off the ground. Now it's in there towards that of the 47 in Finlayson, one of the top-ups, and it was a quick clear, but it was only in far as the Sydney defender. Now they come long down the line, looking down, sets it up on the head there, and it was well done and well punched away there from Blake Erickson. It's taken away by Redfern. Redfern put it down there towards that of Golds, but it's cleared by the Misley Sydney defence. Now it's in the arms of Paris. Paris in the middle of the ground over there towards the run there of it was the number 28 Matthew Dick out there towards that of Cox, but the Giants defence stands tall here in this situation. Jaffa Williams ball down on Plowman out there towards Barrett. Barrett got it down the line only as far as the Swans defender in Brown. Brown into the centre of the ground, but it was chopped off by the Giants defender in Miles. Miles with a quick handball over there towards that of Stewart. Stewart with a handball over towards Barrett. It was only as far as Dick. Dick got a quick handball over there towards that of Guthrie. Guthrie went down there looking for that of Daniel Cox and was dispossessed pretty quickly. No, it was Cox. It was. Now there they are getting them confused. Jaffa Williams and Cox, they both look alike. Both very similar in stature. And it's landed in the arms of Jake Lloyd. He's been a solid contributor, Andrew, for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, he has been.
Over the journey for season 2013.
Yeah, and you mentioned before about the quick hands of the Swans, Brett, and Jake Lloyd certainly did that, setting up their last thrust forward with very quick hands in the centre of the ground.
as he comes in directly in front, 45 out. Jake Lloyd, does he like this one off the boot? You betcha. The goal umpire doesn't move. It sails straight over her hat, and she puts both hands out to signal full points. That's the Swans 14th as they take a commanding lead here at ANZ Stadium. 14-19-103, 5-9-39. They've all but assured themselves of a top two finish in 2013, Andrew. The UWS, where will they finish? They can finish as low as 5th and as high as 3rd.
That's right. So the UWS, they'll finish on 36 points after today's game, and they've got the tough assignment of going up to Brisbane to play the NEAFL Northern ladder leaders, the Brisbane Lions. And if they manage to get up there, they'll finish on 40 points. East Lake currently on 40 and Ainsley on 40, so it's pretty tight in the mix there.
Of course, we'll get some results out of the Northern Conference today. We had the Lions playing Mount Gravatt. Mount Gravatt took it up to the Lions there, but the all-conquering Lions, they got over the line there. It was Broadbeach taking on Redland, and I think Redland got over the line against Broadbeach, but it's into the middle of the ground. It's Armstrong with a big fist in towards that of Membray and the run of Rowan, but it was taken away through the Giants, and it was taken away there by Ayres. In the middle of the ground now, it's out towards that of Head. Head is now unaccounted for. He gets it onto the left boot quickly, looking for the lead of Towers, who's created all the space and all the run inside the forward 50. He's been a real thorn in the side right from the word go. As Dean Towers, he's been a tower of strength for the Sydney Swans, Andrew.
He has been, and there's been some good performances by the Swans so far today. I think Shane Biggs has probably been the best for them so far, leading the possession count with 22 and rebounding from his defensive 50 10 times. So there's some pretty good stats.
I think what's underestimated is someone like Shane Biggs. Yes, he's had it 22 times as Towers. He's pushed that one wide. He needs to brush up on the goal kicking. That's 2 goals for Dean Towers today, so he certainly had plenty of it. But it's he shuts his opposition player down first, then he wins his own footy. That's the great thing about Shane Biggs, and he's got a lot to like about him. He's got a bright future in front of him, hence why they elevated him to the senior list, Andrew.
Yep, and the backs for the Swans have been fantastic today. I'm just looking through the possessions here. Tony Armstrong with 21, Jake Lloyd with 21, and Harry Cunningham with 20. So a lot of springboard out of defence from the Swans backmen.
It's out towards Edwards. He takes a couple of the players on now for the Giants. He didn't have a left foot. He went down with the right boot, only as far as the boundary line. Which way will the umpire see this one? He says, yes, it's deliberate. I thought so too. He had some options there, did Sean Edwards, as the Giants have been given a football lesson by the super slick Sydney Swans. Ball's in the hands now of Stephen Ray. Ray goes out towards the other magnet in Armstrong. He's been in everything from the word go as well as Tony Armstrong. He set a lot of their attack up from half back. Armstrong goes now across there towards that of Paris. He's been impressive as Lloyd Paris. Of course, you said he's eligible for the draft, be invited to the draft combine. It's into the hands of Ray. Ray through the back half now as they go towards that of Robinson. Robinson back to Paris. Paris comes down towards the centre wing, out there towards Alex Brown. Brown goes down there towards the run of Cunningham. Cunningham with the ball in hand, 65 metres for the goal, comes inboard, swing inboard for Membray, but it only as far as that of Thomas. It looks like Thomas Head out there. No, it's not. It was a quick handball out there by Matthew Dick. It's out to Doug Haddon. Haddon out there towards that of Blake Erickson with a quick snap on goal, but it was just marked on the line there from the Giants in a goal-saving mark, and it comes out quickly out there towards that of Redfern. Redfern in the middle of the ground. He comes up towards that of, it's the 33, and Jack Dimery, the Sydney product from the Hills Eagles, out towards Sumner, out towards now Redfern. Big Redfern, Joe Redfern, he creeps around the mark. The umpire says play on, comes long down the line looking there for Reed, but it was Alex Brown who really tightened his game up after those first couple of minutes. He must have got some stern words from the runners, Andrew.
That's it. And I think Joey Redfern, he'd be a little bit disappointed with his game today after kicking 5 goals last week against Sydney.
And it's out there towards that of Biggs. He's probably been the best player on the park. Has shown Biggs across there to Lloyd. It's just their diminutive in size and their stature and their heart. They must all come out of the Kieran Jack playbook. They all just have a crack. They just crack in the Swans. There's a lot to like about them, and that's an incorrect disposal. The umpires let that one go, and it's called play on in the middle of the ground, just inside the centre square. It's not travelling real far. The umpire will have no opportunity but to say it'll be my ball. Thank you very much. 19 minutes gone. Sydney Swans 14-20-104 to UWS 5-9-39. They've certainly come back to earth this week after their big victory last week, the Giants, haven't they?
They have. Certainly haven't been allowed the freedom they had last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, the Giant has landed. So it's the Swans out towards Armstrong. He's been clever, Tony Armstrong, as he back from Ugle. He gives him a don't argue, goes around on the left boot, puts it to a 2-on-1, and that was a good grab taken out there by, I think it was Redfern out there, was it, for the I can't quite pick up the player out there, but it's taken away. I think it was Schultz out there for the Giants, and it's punched away by Armstrong. This will beat them all over the boundary line. No, it won't. Armstrong keeps it in play. He copped a heavy check there from Ugle, and it's out there towards the Swans players, and they bring it inboard out there towards that of Lloyd or Biggs, was it? No, it's into the arms of Lloyd now. Lloyd over towards Biggs now. Biggs out towards Ericsson. They move the ball with speed. It's out towards Biggs again as they play keepings off and champion data statistics. And now that's a good grab taken there by Bunty. He should have got it in front of Weir. But it's now taken away there by Barrett. Barrett sends the ball forward, but it was intercepted there by the Swans defender. But Sam Reid battles hard on the ground, and it's not really coming out of there. Which way will the umpire see it? He says, I'll have it, thanks very much. As it can't be long to go, we'll get a 24-25 minute quarter as we count down for the Swans as it starts to fill up for the main game between the Swans and Collingwood. And it's out towards the speedy Liam Sumner. Sumner sizes up the goals and he threads one through. Does Liam Sumner? You betcha. That's his first for the afternoon. Liam Sumner, no, that's his second. So, and the Giants sixth, so he gets to finish off some good work for Liam Sumner. He's been one of the Giants' best, Andrew.
He has. He's tried hard. He's had 18 possessions tonight and he's worked hard all night.
He certainly shows a clean pair of heels to Liam Sumner. Probably just ran out of puff in this last quarter. Hasn't had a lot of it in the last quarter. As the Giants get a much needed goal to add a bit of respectability in the scoreboard. If you've just joined us, John O'Rourke went off in that third quarter with what looked to be a serious shoulder injury. Hope that he's okay. Of course, a high draft pick for the Giants in 2012. The umpire brings it back to the middle of the ground. It's Frost in the middle. It's taken away by Miles. Good clearance. Only as far as Schultz. Schultz at the back of the square. He puts it down towards Reid. The Swans defence has stood up tall all day under pressure as they play keepings off. It's out towards that of Brown. Brown across to Biggs. Now they run and create some space for each other, and it was hard running, as you said, gut running, and it was taken there by Lloyd. It's Jake Lloyd, ball in hand. Despite the pressure of Sumner, it's over there towards Robinson. Robinson just takes the heat right out of the game. The Swans have clearly got this in their grasp. Round 21, of course. Games already played. Eastlake were victors over Tuggeranong out at Greenway. Hills Eagles taking on Sydney University. And we've got tomorrow, we have Belconnen taking on Queanbeyan. Of course, the Hills Eagles taking on Sydney tomorrow at Bruce Purser. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's set down for Andrew tomorrow afternoon. Is that correct?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yep, just a minor error on your sheet there.
Just the running sheet. I'll talk to the secretary about that one and as we get back to the footy here, and it's into the middle of the ground, and it's taken there by the Giants, and it is Josh Rodman in the middle of the ground. Now it's down through Ugle. Ugle sends the ball only as far as Lockyer. He's done a solid job in the back half there. Out towards Biggs.
It looks like Gary Rowan limping off there, Brett, so I hope it's nothing to do with that troublesome leg he's had.
He is hoping not. Might just pulled up a little bit sore. Looks like it could be a bit of cramp as he works his way back to full fitness. Out towards the arms, outstretched arms of Armstrong, Tony Armstrong, the former Adelaide product. He goes sideways out there towards Lloyd. They really are taking the heat out of the game and icing the game here and just controlling, getting some match simulation now, Andrew, of the Swans.
That's right. I mean, they've controlled it all day, really, haven't they? But, yeah, just icing the clock at the moment, just making sure they get through and they're slowing the game down.
So it is going to be the Swans. Where will they can finish on top of the ladder, of course. They'll be waiting on the result from Belconnen v Queanbeyan, but it's out towards the middle of the ground and it's going to beat them all over the boundary line. Boundary line throw in. 25 minutes gone in this round 21 clash. It is the Sydney Swans 14-20-104 to the Giants 6-9-45. The Swans have led at every break here at ANZ Stadium. Much was expected of the Giants after their massive victory over the Sydney Uni last week and a couple of impressive performances coming into this match, but they've probably disappointed all and sundry, Andrew.
Yeah, they have, but I think they came in with a bit of a disrupted team, Brett, so I don't think you can take anything away from that. They missed a couple of key players, Satanta O'Halpin, Josh Groden and Kurt Aylett, and there's some big names to go out of that side. So, and I think the Swans have just really clicked today. They've been fantastic with their structure. Their defence has been first class, and I suppose we're looking at a pretty strong outfit come finals time.
And that's a good kick there from Cunningham. He's found the thorn in the side in Towers. He's been everywhere today as Dean Towers. Probably hasn't got the reward for his effort. 2 goals, 4 to his name. Gets an opportunity to add 3, and that'd be the icing on the cake for what would be a very good game from Dean Towers. He's pressing for senior selection is Towers.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic game today, Towers. A little bit inaccurate, as you said, Brett.
We ride this home. Dean Towers, can he kick his third? You betcha. Dean Towers, a good day at the office for him. 3 goals, 4 as the Swans skip further away here at ANZ Stadium. And they're doing as they like out there. They've controlled the footy from the bounce. As you said, they've just clicked today. 15-20-110. They've had 35 scoring shots. UWS 6-9-45. It is 27 minutes gone.
And just a fantastic day out, I think, for Dean Towers today. He's been a focal point up forward, and he's had 16 possessions, 5 inside 50s, and 3 goals.
That he has 3 goals.
3 goals, 4. So he's been the linchpin up forward for the Swans.
Going back to the Giants, do they get an opportunity to play here on this surface? They wouldn't get too many opportunities to play here, would they, Andrew?
Not at ANZ itself. They play 1 or 2 games at Stoker each year, but most of their home games at Blacktown.
Well, there you have it. So there's the Sydney Swans and an easy victory. It is the Swans 15-20-110 defeating the UWS Giants 6-9-45. And that is round 21. Of course, we've got some exciting games to come to conclude round 21. We've got Queanbeyan v Belconnen tomorrow at Dairy Farmers Park, and also at 2 o'clock tomorrow, Bruce Purser Reserve, Hills Eagles and Sydney Uni. Andrew Knott, it's been fantastic having you in the coverage. We've got to wrap it up quickly because we've got the big boys coming on after us, and they're all knocking down the door. But what did you take out of the Swans' victory?
Look, I think what we can take out of it is that, despite the fact they haven't had a great 5 or 6 weeks leading up into this game, that they will be a force in the finals. They've got a lot to play for, all of their playing list, with the seniors going deep into September, as we'd expect with the AFL final series. So I think they can be a force to be reckoned with come finals time in 2 weeks. They'll finish first or second, so they'll have the home ground advantage, and I'm sure that Jared Crouch will have the boys up and ready to go come September.
So there you have it, the words of wisdom from the General Manager of the NEAFL competition, just repeating the Sydney Swans here at ANZ Stadium for this round 21 clash. 15-20-110 over the UWS Giants 6-9-45. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. You can stay up to date with all things NEAFL throughout the website on neafl.com.au. I'm Brett Davis. We'll see you next week at the footy.